Okay, there we go. Sorry for a slightly lower quality. I just don't have any time to edit and properly record this video because I'm leaving in like 2 hours, and I just wanted to make a short video on this game because it's gonna be a very exciting one, and there is a lot of hype on it already. There are some interesting issues. I don't know if you can see the player map mode properly. I think the sphere view is the best for this. Well, let's see. What else can we use? RGO. Seems kind of boring. If I just go political map mode, it seems okay. I think sphere is still better. It doesn't really show all the countries nicely, but should be okay. Anyway, it wasn't my intention to talk about Japan in this game, but since Gaku posted a video like 15 minutes ago and I just watched it, I will just briefly cover the topic. So, some time ago in the game when I played, I think the first time it happened was when I played Russia. Gurren was playing UK, and he kind of started a meta game where UK just declares war on Japan early on and pretty much annexed them. Now, Gaku is obviously upset about it. There is some chance that he can defend from that attack if he plays properly. It's not very easy thing to do, and if UK plays well and doesn't make any major mistakes, it's very hard to pull off, but it's not entirely impossible. So you can defend as a Japan against UK in day one, especially in this mod. In some other mods, you had an option to pretty much westernize in 2 years, maybe 4 years. I even think it's that's the same case in vanilla, but I'm not 100% sure. In any case, that is the good part of the other mods, but in this mod you do westernize a bit slower, but you get some interesting and important stuff. You can get military tech, you can get a regular army, so you don't have to base your army on irregulars and cavalry, which completely turns that war into slight Japanese favor, but you need to know how to get resources to build that army. And I kind of tried to explain it to Gaku, but he didn't want to listen. I mean, he was so convinced, and he's quite a stubborn guy, so he was quite convinced that Japan stands no chance against UK. Now, I was in a situation where I was attacked as Japan pretty much day one, by UK and Russia, I believe, in one of the Friday games that was played like 2 years ago. It was different mod, but it's almost the same stuff. Anyway, I was quite stubborn, and they didn't want to sign any treaties with Russia and UK, so they tried to win the war, but they ended losing. I mean, those weren't the best players, but they were decent at least, and I simply I knew what to do with Japan. Like, the landing penalty when you're attacking from ships is huge, and if you position your troops properly in the beginning of the war, it's very, very hard for them to do anything except maybe take a few islands from you, and that is really not a big deal. So there are 3 main ways on how to solve this problem. Either you can make a treaty, well, actually there are 4. Either you can make a treaty with Britain and, just pay them infamy, which Gaku was asked to, and he refused. And I don't even want to start talking about that because it's so complete bullshit. You do not spend 20 infamy. The treaty is not written that way, and there is a huge chance that you won't get 20 infamy for justifying war goals for 20 infamy. You'll get less. So he doesn't have to wait for 17 years doing nothing. That's just complete bullshit. And the second thing is, yes, he can get Korea even if he loses the war. Okay, so that's the first way. The second way is to try to fight them like alone. Now this can be done, but you need to know what you're doing with your resources, because the main issue is you can get regular army very quickly, but the issue is you don't probably won't have resources for that. So you do need to find resources, and that's not too hard to find. There is a third way, um, which I mentioned to Gaku. I don't really want to reveal it here because it's kind of my strategy, and I mean, it does involve other people attacking you, so you can get some resources in some way. I don't want to be too revealing. I have nothing against teaching new players what to do, but I don't want to reveal my strategy in case, for example, I decide to play Japan and I have a Gurren or someone, you know, very good at the game playing UK. So I want to have something up my sleeve so I can, you know, just surprise them. And there is that fourth strategy bit that I'm just not revealing. It's, I mean, it involves surrendering. That's all I'm gonna say, and it pays off so much. It's even better than you never having to deal with UK. If you can pull this off, you'll be in such a great spot that you won't even need Korea. But yeah, like I said, I'm not revealing that. Anyway, so that is Gaku's situation. He decided to quit as Japan, so Shadow Guard took Japan as a replacement. Now Sweden is right now free, but I don't know if that will remain that way till the beginning of the game. Now we have Sugar on Australia. I'm not gonna go through all the players. We have someone on South Africa. I didn't put them in because they might be playing Colombia, so I'm not sure about that. We have two players in South America. Gurn's playing USA, Sunster, Canada, and then we go to Europe. Now there is a huge, how do I say, I want to be politically correct. This is not a nice way to say this bullshit alliance between Russia, France, UK, and Sardinia, Piedmont. That means that to Prussia and Austria, pretty much. Now, if you compare powers one by one, UK is definitely number one in the beginning of the game. There is no questioning that. And then you go either France or Russia are the second or third. I would say France is stronger than Russia because of the better tech, and they don't have to focus on that so much. But if you go by PvP, Austria is weaker than Russia, and Prussia is much weaker than France, or much weaker than Russia. In any case, Austria can stand 1 versus 1 against France and Russia, but in a 2v2 war or possibly a 3v2 war, it's very hard for Austria to do anything, and it truly requires proper management of your troops and your allies as Austria, so you need to be very smart. Now I would say we have some very slight advantage when it comes to experience. I'm gonna talk about like top tier players later on, but like current strategical position is very bad for us. Anyway, we might be able to snatch an alliance with Spain and maybe Ottoman Empire, which would be enough to defend from France, Sardinia, and Russia, but I don't know what UK is going to do exactly in this campaign. The UK doesn't really start with so many transports, and they don't really have a huge standing army. Most of their army is in India, so they would need some time to re-recruit army, and by that time I can probably do some stuff to improve my defenses, I guess. So we'll see how that develops. Now no one's playing Switzerland can actually be the deciding factor in that war, because that military access through his mountains is extremely important, and whoever gets it will have a huge edge, because then Sardinia can't just rush into Austria, and we have a nice defending line. I mean, it's not impossible to win that war, like even three versus two, but it's gonna be very hard. 2v2 is already hard enough. Sardinia and makes it harder because they have military access through them. Can invade Russia, Austria from two sides. There are some strategies involving kind of a rule abuse, but we'll see how that plays out. Now I won't be able to just, play like Super Germany or Massive Germany that becomes a world superpower, because there is that huge alliance, and then we have Gurren here on USA, so he will be expanding like crazy, and definitely it won't be my job to stop him in this game. Initially I really wanted to play Sardinia and play Italy, because every time I get a good campaign going with Sardinia, something on the other part of the world ends up happening, and we just like have to scrap the game. Basically, let's start over again. This time I had to switch to Prussia because no one else wanted to play Prussia, and we needed some more balance because already two decent players were on Russia and France. If someone wants to stop Gurren, that would have to be Duro playing UK, or I guess Fusilier playing Ottoman Empire. Now, Ottoman Empire is much weaker in this mod than they were in, say, Vanilla. I don't think Japan will be able to do anything about USA, especially with them having to deal with UK. Well, will be quite an interesting situation, all depending on what Duro decides to do. Now, I still don't know if Sumter is going to play Canada. I believe he will, but Canada has some issues with USA, and I expect Gurren to either offer him a lifelong alliance that would pretty much make sure that UK is not able to invade them, because they can have insane amount of ships, and the Navy is, I don't want to say nerfed in this game, but it's much harder to maintain a huge navy. It will be very hard. Actually, it's not hard to maintain a navy, but having an army and a navy is almost impossible unless you manage your economy and industry perfectly. I will go through tax a bit. So we have some changes here. Biologism doesn't give you 50% education boost anymore. It's nerfed to 15. Then I believe all the pop growth tech are in chemistry and electricity. And then the huge change is in, I believe, naval risk management or decision making? No, okay, here. Naval statistics. So earlier, breech loaded rifles had colonial negotiations in them, and then you would, most of the time, you would unlock that by getting machine guns. You could go into commerce or navy tech, but that was very costly and quite inefficient. Now you have to go through naval logistics to get colonial negotiations. It can only be unlocked by that. That means that all the colonial powers that want to, colonize and have some parts of Africa will have to devote some more time into researching navy, and that should give some slight advantage to all the continental powers, say Prussia, Austria, maybe Spain, depending on what they decide to do. I guess Russia won't be colonizing as much also. It kind of makes for a more balanced game, and it forces you to make some decisions that might not be optimal if you were playing vanilla. That's pretty much all about diplomacy that I wanted to say. I still have to wait for responses from Spain and the Ottoman Empire, see if they would join the defensive alliance between us. Basically, a very peaceful first session benefits all of us, like Austria, me, Spain, and Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire has to expand over there. I need to form NGF before being able to stand against France or Russia, and we'll just see how that develops. Now, about player tier, something I maybe should have mentioned in the beginning, which would explain my decision to play as a Prussia in this game, even though I don't really like playing Germany. My favorite countries to play are Austria, Netherlands, and Sardinia. Or, I mean, Italy. Two Sicilies. I prefer Two Sicilies over Sardinia, but player preference, really. Top tier players in this campaign would have to be Guren and me. So Guren playing USA and I'm playing Prussia. I won't be able, like I explained earlier, I won't be able to stop him. Like, there is no stopping USA as Prussia. It's just impossible. In this mod, that would have to be UK or Japan or Ottoman job if they are up to the task. Since Vincino is not playing, I don't think I can say that anyone else is at the same tier. Marconi is very close, but things he plays very boring like game. When he has advantage, he attacks. He never attacks when when there is a good opportunity. If he sees that he can lose, then there is something he does. And then I would go with tier 2 players. Would be then, I guess, Marconi leading the way, and then Kevin, Aiden, and Duro. I guess Shadowguard also in that category. Now, Creamlord and Fusler are very close to that group, but I think they still need to learn a lot. And other players are either newcomers or people that played with us at some point, but then they quit or went inactive and now are back into the game. Will be a very interesting game. See you on Sunday, starting on 7 PM Central European time, or 1 PM, I guess it's Eastern summer time? Although it's not summer anymore. Well, I guess technically. Well, that's it. See you guys. Have fun. And let me know what you think. I don't want to waste my time in this video talking about Gaku issue. I might cover it during the game. Like, I'll explain why I think he's just completely crazy for leaving the game like that. It's not about leaving, it's just he's completely unreasonable and he's not thinking out of the box. There are many ways that he can make Japan work, even if he's being targeted by UK. So that's it for me. See you on Sunday. Have fun.